Hey guys, back here on a walk, and I just wanted to allow for a free flow of consciousness talk. So today I wanted to talk about mind control and what's going on with the Artemis 2 landing, as well as what Trump has recently said, Donald Trump has said about the new cryptocurrency system and how it all ties in to mind control and the New World Order, Mark of the Beast system, as well as what we can do as humans in this situation on Earth right now to shift our consciousness to hopefully combat and prevent what's going on from the New World Order. Because you got to call it the Now World Order, honestly, from my perspective, because it's right in front of your face. All of this stuff has been here. It's pretty blatant that it's actually been here, and this new cryptocurrency system is more so just a push on more surveillance, that they're trying to get rid of cash, essentially, and they're trying to get rid of cash by inflating the dollar every single day through, like, this Iran war, for example. They're taking this problem, creating a problem from this conflict of the Iranian war, which Jesus doesn't want wars. The Iranian people, the civilians of Iran, are all great people, I'm sure. It's more or less this parasitic class is using organizations like Lockheed Martin and all these other large manufacturers of weapons to manipulate our ideology on war, and think that the people of Iran are evil, when and same goes for Israel. For those that are in the, I'll even call it woke right, or the MAGA crowd, the people that are waking up to corruption, they are being told that Israel and the Jews are the problem, when in reality it goes a lot deeper than that. And it goes deeper than that because, to me, the root is behind them, even with like the Catholic Church, the Jesuits, and how they ultimately control the Jews and control the higher up Zionists of the world religions. And we must understand that religion is a control mechanism, and it's used for mind control, and how it ties into control everywhere. It ties in with education. Like, we're all told that the earth is a spinning ball, but if you watch the Artemis moon landing, or their arrival in space, it looks so orchestrated and fake that I feel like it's just them making fun of us. Like, it's clear as day that they're making fun of us. They came out with this moon, or this whole space travel thing, on April Fool's Day. And April Fool's Day should really be the first day of spring, if you haven't figured that out either. Or it should be the first day of the year. April Fool's Day should be the first day of the year, because that's really when things start to blossom and bloom, and everything that is dead has turned alive. And so wouldn't that be what we call new versus January 1st? Everything is still freezing cold in the Northeast, and you're still able to ski and snowboard for about 2.5 months. I find it all so odd. I feel like there is a awakening per se, but it's also captured. It's captured by the alternative right media clown show, and it's orchestrated by those like Alex Jones, who get you stuck in a way of thinking of left-right paradigm. This clown show now with Alex Jones, Candace Owens being called out by Donald Trump, Tucker Carlson. He's calling all these people out to be the bad guys, which they are. If you are awake, they keep you in this political divide. But now the fact that Trump is calling them out, all those supporters of these talking heads are being told that Trump is now a bad guy. And yes, I actually went on Alex Jones's show, and he is 100% certified controlled opposition CIA puppet. I haven't fully come out on my platforms really to say that because of the MK Ultra mind control techniques that have been used on me, actually. I'm a survivor of these techniques. What was done in the form of my whistleblowing fiasco, it all is documented in my documentary project Whistleblower. It's my whistleblower testimony, and things like FBI raids, things like Epstein, you gotta question it all. Question it for what it is, and then turn away from it, which is what I am in the process of doing. And acknowledging these systems of so-called authority and calling them for what it is, which is essentially an illusion. It's all part of the Matrix in a way. It's all part of being Neo in the Matrix. Because once you see it for what it is, which is a control mechanism to get you to buy into being a consumer versus a creator, it becomes very biblical. Nobody can actually be like Jesus, but Christ came down from heaven as the perfect man to show us what it's like to be the perfect man or woman who hates sin and hates religion, hates authority, and puts authority back on your heart. So my walk with Christ has grown as I've dissolved illusions of mind control and questioning everything. I'm at the point where, everything is fake. And I don't want it to be everything is fake to come across as a conspiracy theorist. It's just those that make positive claims about what make you sick, like with virology. If you've listened to me talk before, you know that viruses have not been proven to exist in nature, which is where I am. You can't go around in nature and isolate a virus. You have to go into a lab and mutilate a sample, which isn't done in nature. It can't be done. You can't mutilate something in nature because then it's already being fabricated and played with. Science itself is a religion. Even the scientific method, like, we have taken the scientific method and used it in unnecessary ways, and people haven't studied logic with the scientific method until really COVID started, and then started questioning things like virology. But we need to question everything, like biochemistry. For those who don't know, guanine it comes from bat poop, and it's basically an isolated piece of bat poop, and they called it guanine because in another language, guaninazine or something has to do with bat poop. And so they're saying that bat poop is part of what makes up the DNA helix that is inside you and I, which also has not been proven to exist. None of it has. DNA, again, is used in an experiment with X-ray crystallography, where they take a bunch of salt and human sample and dry it down and mutilate the sample, bastardize the sample to the point where it's dehydrated, and then it created an X form on like the 51st photo that was done during these experiments. And then they're like, oh look, that's the DNA helix, that's the cross pattern that we were looking for. It goes to show that humans love to play God. They love to play God. They love to manipulate everything and come up with a story for everything. And if you challenge that story, then you're a conspiracy theorist. You're someone who isn't trustworthy because you aren't going along with the plan. And so, like, I want to tie this into drinking and smoking weed and vices like nicotine and things like jacking off. You know, it's such a common thing for especially men to fall into this trap, like going to college and enabling alcoholism, enabling smoking of nicotine sticks, and enabling the smoking of marijuana, because you're all just together enabling your own bad habits, and then you call these people best friends. But are you really friends with any of these people if you can't be of a sound and sober mind and coherent in your thoughts, where you need to escape your reality in order to spend time with people that you're calling your friends? Are they really your friends? I don't think so. Doesn't sound like it. And sure, I mean, if you are sober-minded in another time period and you do stuff like this from time to time with these people, sure, you might be able to call them your friend. But the higher end of like the 90th percentile, 95, 99% of people that enable binge drinking and smoking weed every day or multiple times a week in your life, and enable the lust in your life, like thinking that masturbating every day and that you shouldn't be holding in your vitalistic energy, your sexual energy, that you shouldn't be holding in your sex energy until you find a partner that God puts in your life to end up marrying. Those aren't friends. They're Agent Smiths, essentially, in the Matrix. They don't even know it. They're NPCs, and they're under a mind control spell, because at this point, everybody is under a mind control spell. Even I'm subject to it. It's just calling it out for what it is helps you break through the spell, because the people that run this world are wizards, and what they're trying to do right now, to bring this back to what I was talking about earlier, is they're trying to subject us to mass surveillance control through the cryptocurrency blockchain grid. And they're doing this by inflating the price of the dollar to make cost of living insanely high. And they're making it so that our wages are not increasing at that rate. And then they're taking that and essentially forcing our hand into buying things like cryptocurrency, putting your money into other assets that don't hold value. And what is cryptocurrency? What is Bitcoin? It's a theoretical construct that is on an electronic blockchain that you cannot physically hold, and you must be reliant on a blockchain system in order to be able to use it. Sure, it's a theoretical store of value, but it's also technically thin air. And so our founding fathers, our ancestors, they would have laughed at the idea of cryptocurrency as a store of value. They would have said, "Ha, you're nuts." But in today's day and age, with the technocratic revolution that we see, it seems like a valuable option until there becomes no more cash, and they change the cryptocurrency system to a full-time currency. All I will say is that the cryptocurrency system, it seems exactly like a Black Mirror episode where if you don't have a good social credit score because you said something wrong at the airport, or you said something wrong on the internet, then boom, you lose 200 social credit points, and then you're not allowed to fly in an airplane, or you're not allowed to drive your car around town as much, or you're not allowed to do this, and you're not allowed to do that. It is an enslavement mechanism for humanity, and yes, we are already living in an enslavement and control mechanism, but we all need to wake up to this and then refuse the cryptocurrency system that is going to be proposed to us by 2030. Congress came out saying that they're gonna basically refuse making cryptocurrency a full-time thing by like 2029, 2030. So all I can really say is that 2030 is coming fast, guys, and we all need to get right with God, get right with the Lord, get right with Jesus Christ. And when things hit the fan, truly, don't submit. It's going to be just like the COVID-19 vaccines. They're going to tell you you had to take the COVID shot. They're going to tell you you have to submit to their digital ID, or you're not going to be able to travel, or you're not going to be able to buy food. You're not going to be able to do X, Y, Z. And people you love are most likely going to fall into this trap. But I say that those who are smart, those who have the wherewithal to know that we don't need to be afraid of death, and that eternal life is ahead, and that it's okay to legitimately starve to death, or go out into the woods, or form a community once things really hit the fan. I mean, we should all really be forming our own communities already, but society is so unorganized because of how manipulated and mind controlled we all are. So it's just a very hard thing to do in this realm right now. But feels as if the Antichrist prophecy is being presented to us, and it will be fulfilled over the next 4 to 7 years, with Trump being the last president, whether they keep him alive or not. It feels as if this cryptocurrency system will inevitably be presented to us, and unless it's backed on something like a store of value with gold, feels as if we are in the end times. And the end times prophecy has been played out several times before, but this one is extremely interesting based off of the fact that our entire use of currency can be moved to a blockchain, and it's thin air, and then that's it. It's the end. It won't happen right away, but very shortly after that, they're gonna use it to manipulate us through credit scores. You can't say certain things if you believe in Jesus. If you want to practice your own religion, you won't be able to. Sorry, there's a lot of loud people right now, but all right, well, get right with God, guys. Thank you for listening. If you like the video, please like, comment on other videos you'd like to see me comment on. Subscribe and share this with somebody that you think might learn a thing or two from what I have to say. Sweet. Justin out. Bye, guys.